Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Christina Cakes It. I'm Christina and today we're going to be making a fondant ruffle cake. So this episode is actually kind of a redemption episode because I made this cake about a year ago and we did film it, but the episode did not turn out very well at all, so I knew I was gonna wanna redo it because this technique is super cute and I like how it looks. So St. Patrick's Day is coming up and I decided I was gonna make my fondant ruffle cake in a rainbow pattern. So the steps to make this cake are actually super simple. What I'm gonna be doing is I'm going to be rolling out each of my different colors of fondant and cutting out small circles and pinching them into a ruffle shape. Then I'm going to attach them to the cake, and finally I'm gonna make a fondant rainbow cake topper and finish it off with some buttercream clouds. So to get started, you guys are gonna see that I have my 6-inch cake already crumb coated and frosted. Most of this is gonna get covered with my fondant ruffles, so I'm not worried about it being super smooth. And I'm gonna tell you this, that the cake I made previously was for my sister-in-law's birthday and it was huge and it took me forever. So this cake is a little bit smaller. These are time consuming, but the end result is worth it. So I'm gonna start with my violet down at the bottom of the cake, like the bottom of the rainbow. So I'm gonna be rolling this out. This is my homemade marshmallow fondant and I just dyed all the different colors. And we are gonna wanna roll this pretty thin. And we're gonna be making a ton of circles. So after I roll my fondant, I'm gonna take a small circle cutter. I'm gonna cut out as many as I can at once. And in order to make the ruffle shape, what you're gonna do is you are going to like pinch the 4 corners together to make a shape like this. And when you have those shapes, we will attach them to the cake. So before I start attaching my ruffles, I do want to divide my cake visually into 6 sections because I do want my ruffles like in fairly even lines as they go up the rainbow. So I'm just going to score my cake pretty evenly. So I'm just taking a knife and going into the frosting. So to attach these, I'm just using a little bit of Wilton Dab and Hold. You guys know I use this all the time. So this is crusted buttercream, and I'm just going to stick the ruffle here. And I'm guessing I'm gonna need about 2 rows of each color. That's probably what it's gonna end up being. So I'm just gonna continue on with this. right, so I have all of my rainbow ruffles on my cake, and just for reference, this did take me about 2.5 hours. But once you get going, it's pretty easy. It's a really simple technique, and as you guys can see, it looks great. So what I want to do now is I do want to add a fondant topper to this just to give this cake a little something extra. So you guys can see that I have prepared a rainbow cake topper already. I made this like 4 days ago. So if you're going to want to add this, you do need to make it ahead of time as well, because when you paint, it takes quite a while to dry. Like I found it took like 2 days. So I'm going to show you guys how I made this super cute topper. So I'm just going to take my white fondant and I'm going to cut a rainbow shape from this. So after I have my rainbow shape cut out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just draw some lines into this, like little indentations, basically just to separate the rainbow into 6 stripes, which I'm going to paint each of the colors of the rainbow. So as best as I can, I'm going to make this even. So I'm just using my fondant dowel tool to do this, and just very gently pressing into the fondant. And this is going to be my guide when I start to paint. You probably could do the painting without this, but I feel like you wouldn't get an even stripe as easily. So now that I have my lines, I'm just gonna get my paint ready, and I'm using gel food coloring for this, just in the same colors as the cake, like my art teacher taught me, Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. So I'm just gonna put a small drop and add my vodka to this. So you guys know if you watch my channel that I use this way of painting really often, and the alcohol will burn off. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to mix the vodka with the color like this. I'm gonna want to start it with a little bit thicker rather than watery, because I can always add more water, or well, the vodka with it. So I'm just gonna paint my stripes. And in the topper that I actually did, I ended up doing like 2 or 3 coats of this. Like I'd let it dry for a bit and then go back to it, just to get the colors more vibrant. So like I said, when you guys are making your own fondant topper, I suggest letting this dry for a little bit and then doing quite a few coats, and then definitely making this a couple days ahead of time so it dries before you apply it to your cake. Alright, so my fondant ruffle cake that I made for St. Patrick's Day is done, and I love how it turned out, and I hope that you guys try this technique and enjoy it as much as I did. It's a great technique for a beginner. You just need to have a lot of patience with it, and your cake is going to look wonderful. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to like this episode and subscribe to my channel.